What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we're going to be doing a account overview, account review, but mainly focusing on Hydra and Chimera for BMONEY here. He's level 81. I can comfortably say that he's probably a pretty big spender in this game. Being level 81, he has quite the roster, and he has quite the stash of gear. So a lot of his champions are very well developed for a level 81 account. You can kind of see a lot of his epics here also +4, so a lot of money has been spent on shards and all that. But yeah, there's a lot of work to be done because a lot of these are not leveled up and they're just not ready to go. So even just looking at all these mythical and legendary champions, you have to pick 18 to make 18 of these champions, including the epics, to make 3 Hydra teams. So it's not a foregone conclusion that he has great Hydra teams if he has great Chimera teams. So we're going to help him out with some of that in this video here. Maybe with some preset teams, maybe with some new gear sets and all that. And we'll give you guys a bit of a, general Hydra overview so you guys can build teams for yourselves as well. Okay, let's first hop into his Hydra stuff. And yeah, let's check out what he's packing here. He did finish 1 key off. It's going to be his Nightmare key. He did do a 1 key on Nightmare with this current team. I mean, just Gizmat, Otherion. Otherion is really good, max HP. You don't need the best gear on Otherion to let him do good damage on Nightmare difficulty. So really nice to see that he got at least 1 key. The top difficulty is 2 keys left. He should brutal hard without too much difficulty. But yeah, let's build some teams for him, and let's see what we can cook up for his account. As a general kind of strategy, I usually put a speed lead for the aura. Not always the case, but generally, I would say speed lead is pretty good. Now, if you just look at his champions here, he has tons of options on what he wants to do. I don't see Mithrala. I don't see Lydia. So, proper level 81 player. I don't see Marius. But I see a lot of pulled champions here. I even see Furo. I see obviously Klazag, which is very, very strong. Klazag can be a Lydia in this spot as well. Furo can be very strong as well. Blessings are a little bit low for the most part, so he hasn't been getting too many blessings. Unfortunately, I don't see Titus. I don't see Trunda. So he can't really make those insane teams. So no Trunda and no Titus. You can't make those insane teams. So we have to look for the next best option. Usually it's some kind of Mikage ninja. So I don't see that. Or Mikage Toshiro. I don't see Toshiro either. But he's got some really sweet options here. Let's check out what he has in terms of some of the lesser, less available debuffs that we're looking for over here. For Hydra teams, you definitely want to look for block buffs. You can kind of see here, Otherion very good for block buffs. We have Granite very good as well. Even somebody like Bell's guy here is very good as well. He has 2 Otherions. I wonder if both of them are in use. And of course, Firo here as well. And then you do have Ugo and Drock as well. So he has lots of options for block buffs. That's kind of what you want to look for your accounts. Very popular one is Ugo. Ugo's AoE block buffs with decreased defense. Very, very good. Good inclusion for your Hydra teams, guys, if you guys got him. And she is just an epic. The other thing I look for, Provoke. Anybody with built-in Provoke is very good. Otherwise, you have to use things like Provoke sets, which is not ideal. I see 2 Wixwells here. At least one will get used. Wixwell is just generally a very good champion. He's not beholden to like Titus or Clan Boss only. He can play in Hydra as well. He's got an A1 that provokes the head of Decay. So that's very, very good. Not looking too great for the provokers, unfortunately. Husk can be used, but he's more of a manual champion. I think Husk got reworked to probably use the A1 on the head of Decay. I'm not too sure. But if you're looking for auto teams, maybe Husk is possible if he can target the head of Decay. You guys let me know in the comments below. I think I heard that he did get the AI did get fixed so that he can target. So Husk might work. Another big debuff that you're always looking for Hydra teams is the Hex debuff. You kind of see here he doesn't really have anybody. Mithrala is a very good Hex champion, but usually what people do is they put cursed gear on their AoE champions and then they can apply a Hex whenever they want. That's just more efficient using a curse set instead of looking for Hex champions. So hopefully he has some curse gear and hopefully he has some provoke gear. We'll have to take a look at his gear stash to see what he actually has. The other big thing is decreased speed. Decreased speed is another really, really good one. That's very important. What do we have here? Thor's a good one. AoE, decreased speed, a little bit accuracy needed, of course. I think Firo has the single target decreased speed. Yeah, that's right. Single target decreased speed, and then he has AoE block buff decreased accuracy. So yeah, those are very, very good. We have Gizmat here. Gizmat does a lot, so he's gonna be really good. He does damage, self buff, but I think we're gonna use him in his secondary form here. I think he's got the decreased defense. What has he got? Pain link. Where's the decreased speed on this guy? Sorry, I missed that. In his base form, he does have decreased speed right here on his A2. So Gizmat in his base form, you could technically just use him for increased speed and decreased speed and HP burn. I think that's fine. I think that definitely could work. There might be better champions for that, but let's have a look here. What else you can do? Arbase. Arbase has increase accuracy, attack, turn meter, block actives. Guess it's on his secondary form here. Mythicals. Leech, HP burn. Leech is good. Leech HP burn is good. And then I think when she gets hit, yeah, when she gets hit, decreased speed gets landed. So that's not consistent enough. So Gizmat is a better decreased speed champion. And then you have a couple single targets. Owella, Firo, Stagnite, Lena, decreased speed, Leech. This could be useful. Revive, Cleanse, Revive on Death, block debuffs. She could be actually pretty useful as well for decreased speed. She's actually a decent Hydra kit here, I think. So I think she might make it into a team. But yeah, decreased speed is a big one. Definitely one to look out for in your rosters as well. I did mention Leech a little bit here. Leech is pretty important as well if you don't have any like big healers and stuff like that. So she does have Clayna here. Bells I mentioned. Ugo I mentioned. So these are solid. I mean, if you put these three on three different teams, they're going to be pretty solid. What else? What else are we looking for? We're looking for decrease defense. Very, very important. I noticed Hilvy. Hilvy has an A1 decrease defense. Not, super, super great, but still workable. Here we go. Klazag. Klazag's going to be nuts. He's going to be in the top team for sure. Decrease defense, weaken, decrease resistance, decrease accuracy, and then protected buffs here. So yeah, he's gonna be a wild champion, insane champion. Galoot has a really strong passive here that every 10 debuffs this champion receives, he's going to cleanse your whole team with the shield and fortify. So this guy could actually do quite a bit. He does have decreased defense as well. Stun's not going to do anything, but he does have decreased defense as well. And then he does have a block buff here. This debuff is protected against bosses. So he can be very, very useful. Decreased defense, cleansing, buffing, and then it's just passive cleansing from his passive. So he's going to be very useful as well. I like Granite. Granite's solid. I see he's fully booked, so he's ready to go. Grey Coast also can be useful too. Decreased defense, block buffs. So, he has a lot of this covered. He has a lot of options. Let's check out the buffs that we're looking for. So we talked briefly about debuffs. Let's talk about buffs. Do we have increased speed champions? Increased speed. Yes. Gizmat, I mentioned, can cover decreased speed, increased speed, just in the base form. Hilvy does have increased speed, does come with block damage, which can be troublesome if it gets stolen, but she's pretty good at, she can place block damage. If it gets stolen, she can actually remove it, which is great. So she can be useful there. What else here? Increased speed. This gives self-buffing increased speed. Perfect. Grand Oak Podrick is amazing, so he's going to fit in a team for sure. Even this guy can actually be quite good. Togron. Togron brings some pretty good buffs. Block debuff, increased speed, healing. And then he also brings a full cleanse with the turn meter boost and increased accuracy. So actually very, very useful champion. But I see he's not fully built out, no masteries yet, and then not even fully ascended. But he definitely could see some play as well. Harold Zaharis here, I think he's more of a, kind of arena champion. He does bring good buffs, increased speed, block, debuffs, and intercept. And then passive increased accuracy here applied to everyone is very nice. But this big ability here is kind of one that you want to manual. And I don't know if you want to manual him. So probably not somebody I would bring for auto teams. Cassandra's an interesting one. I see she's built with masteries. You could definitely bring her in as a damage dealer. She can deal pretty good damage. But we'll have a look at your damage dealers to see if she makes the cut. So let's talk more about buff champions that you want on your team. Now, increased defense, they're good at keeping your team alive. It's not 100% necessary, but I see some nice champions here. You got Androck, which is a very good champion. He has strengthen, increased resistance, very nice as well. And then the buff duration increase here, the increased defense on the A1. Cecilia, also insane. Congratulations on her. She's an absolutely nuts champion, nutso champion. She can deal lots of damage. She's basically almost as good as Marius, I would say. Almost. Even though Marius is just kind of insane, but she's very good. Very good. She could be perhaps a damage dealer, but you need some pretty good gear for her to deal lots and lots of damage. I would probably take somebody else, but for Arena, she's pretty insane. And you do have Ethereon as well. Ethereon, I think, is slightly better for Hydra, just because he does bring AoE block buffs. And then she brings counterattack, which can be stolen, which is a little bit scary for Hydras. So increased defense, and then Greycoat actually has increased defense as well. So there's a couple increased defense champions that could get an extra look. Another big buff you really want is Veil and Perfect Veil. So any kind of Veil and Perfect Veil champion would be really good, especially champions that can apply it for your whole team. This is where Firo is going to be really strong. Cecilia gets a strong edge here as well because she actually applies Veil to your whole team, which can be very strong as well. Rector is, I would say, pretty weak for this account. So you can sub out Rector for Shamail. Shamail is perfect to deal with the Fearhead, but Veil champions are obviously preferred. So I think Cecilia and Firo definitely make it onto a team. And then the last team will probably be a Shamail team. Okay. You don't necessarily need block debuffs on your Hydra teams, although they're pretty good. Some kind of reviver would be great. So having revivers on your Hydra teams just increases the likelihood that your auto teams will work out for you. And then of course you want, increased attack if you have, attack-based damage dealers, and any way to increase your damage is obviously good. Increase crit damage, for example. Strengthen's a good one to mitigate some damage if you have that ally protection, same thing. But not totally necessary. Not totally necessary for Hydra teams. All right, it looks like we have quite a bit of options. So let's get to team building here, and then we'll theory craft out some teams, and we'll talk more about it. So actually, before we get to that, I kind of want to check out his gear stash here. Like we said, we're looking for cursed and provoke gear. Hopefully, he has some to work with. Yes, he has some, but they are pretty bad. Basically, all we really need on these is speed. So I do see a 6-star speed substat piece here, which is good. So that's one piece. Do we have a speed boot? Yes, we do. Hey, we do. Now we can make a lot of stuff work. All right. So that's great. That's great. That's all we need. We have a chest. We have a boot. That's great. So then we can do what? A shield and a weapon, or any of these gloves. Hey, we have a speed crit damage glove. Yeah, not the best gloves. They're all damage oriented. But there is speed here. I don't know. Maybe we'll just do weapon and shield. But that's great. We have a curse set that you can make. You can, level up and make for one of the Hydra teams. That's great. And then we're looking for a provoke set. Do we have anybody or any provoke gear? Yes, we do. Thank goodness. So just looking for speed as a substat. We have one helmet. We have this shield. Any gloves? Chest. Any boot? The boot? Okay, we got one boot. Okay, we can kind of make it work. We have 3, speed substat pieces, and then a boot. So none of these pieces are probably better than the boot, I think. So it's okay. We have one workable set for each curse and provoke. That's great. So then we can use that into our team building. All right, guys. So these are the 3 teams I managed to put together here for BMONEY's account. We got Nightmare Team, Brutal Team, and Hard Team. Now, all 3 of these difficulties will come down to what kind of gear he can put together. We know that his account has lots of champions. He has lots of options. But in some areas, he's actually quite weak. One thing that I found that he was actually quite weak in was actually having a champion land weaken. He actually doesn't have that many that can do that debuff. He also didn't have too many champions that could help out in terms of just dealing overall damage. And also decreased speed was an issue as well. But I think the two teams at the top are very, very solid. So I'm going to go over the two teams here that we put together for him using the principles that we talked about earlier in this video. So first we have Hilvy. She is a reviver, so she's going to be helping out with those auto comps and all that stuff. She does bring decreased defense on the A1, but that's not her main use. She does have increased speed, which is important, but it's on a 4-turn cooldown, so we're looking for maybe a secondary increased speed champion. And she does bring the speed aura here, which we will be taking advantage of. Now the Key Hulk here, he's very, very insane. He brings decreased defense and weaken. That's very important. Counterattack's going to add a lot of damage as well as the unkillable and the taunt. So he's going to bring quite a bit to the table. Depending what sets you can put on him, he's going to be a big damage booster. So 9-piece protection, 9-piece Pharaoh. I don't know if BMONEY has the account for those gear sets, but that's what I'd be looking for a champion like him. Altherion gives him the best opportunity to do damage and highest difficulty of Hydra. So he's here for AoE block buffs and basically just damage. Now, same kind of applies here for Geomancer. Geomancer is very, very strong because he deals tons of damage at the highest difficulty. So the higher difficulty, the more damage Geomancer will do. So he's kind of here just to help out in terms of overall damage. He also provides some damage mitigation here with his passive as well. And then we have Cecilia here. She's here basically for the head of Torment. She brings Veil for everybody. She also brings counterattack as well. That's kind of redundant with Clawzeg counterattack. But if you gear her out to do damage, she can also deal quite a bit of damage. She does bring max HP. So this is an opportunity for her to shine as well. And then lastly here, we have Podrick. Podrick's going to bring the cleanse. He's going to bring a backup increased speed. He's going to bring turn meter boost. As well as a passive that gives everybody their proper buffs, which is really, really nice. And she brings an ally attack. So an ally attack with counterattacks, with champions that can do good damage. We can hopefully get some pretty good damage here. Now, Geomancer is probably one of those champions that you can probably sub out. I was looking for somebody like Ninja, or another really strong Shadowkin, because he does have Mikage, but he doesn't have great Shadowkin DPS champions to go with his Mikage. So unfortunately, we went with Geomancer and Podrick instead of Mikage plus, Ninja, for example. That would be really, really nice because now you're mixing counterattack, ally attack with strong, DPS champions. Because, Geomancer counterattacking or ally attacking, he's not really bringing much. But if you gear him out in a Hex set or a Provoke set, he has the AoE A1, which works really, really well at applying Hex or applying Provokes and all that stuff. So that might be what his role will be in this team. So that's a really, really nice shout here for a Geomancer. And of course, he's a Nightmare. He's going to get the best opportunity to do lots of damage. So moving on to the Brutal team, we have Wixwell here to cover the Provoke head. You want him in the leader spot so that he gets targeted and then he'll just A1 into the head of Decay, constantly provoking him. Thor is here for DPS. He also has decreased speed, which is amazing. We have, I forgot his name. There he is. Galoot. Sorry, Galoot. Galoot's here for decrease defense. He has an AoE decrease defense. He also brings this cleansing ability with shield and fortify, and then he has the passive cleanse here, which is really, really nice. And then he does have an A1 block buffs, so just a little bit of backup there, but he's mostly here for the decreased defense. And then we have Altherion here. Again, he's for damage. He has a second Altherion is built out as well, so we're just going to take advantage of it here. And then, of course, he is going to bring the decrease. He's going to bring block buffs. We have Sulfurion here for HP burn. He's going to activate it, help you out with some damage. He's also a Reviver, which is really, really good. And then we have Shamail here to cover the Head of Fear, Head of Torment, sorry. And he's going to give turn meter boosting. So for this team, we actually don't have a weakened champion. He just doesn't have too many weakened champions available on his account. We can take a quick look here at what is available. And you can kind of see what is available. It's basically not much. We're using Key Hulk, and then that's about it. So Androck, it's on the secondary form. Decrease defense on the A1. Decrease resistance. Weaken on the A2. I mean, this is okay. We could use Androck. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe Androck goes into the hard team in place of Cassandra. I just kind of want to use Cassandra because, She needs to get some love. She needs to get some love. But yeah, Androck probably fits in pretty well on that last team there for his weaken and just for general damage. So the brutal team there covers everything except for really weaken. But you can kind of see here we don't have too many viable usage. Jintaro's not built out or anything like that. He does bring decreased defense and weaken. I guess you could use him. He would need to be pretty built out, but I guess you could use him, but maybe on a hard team here, especially for this level of account, because you need crazy gear for this guy to do damage on brutal difficulty. And then let's talk about his hard difficulty team here. We have the Reviver with Raka. She also brings a cleanse, Terminator boost, increased attack, shield. We have Taras here. Taras just generally a very strong damage dealer. And then we try to put him on a team with lots of buffs. Make sure his A2 is turned on when you have presets on. Firo is going to be our head of Torment coverage. He brings Veil. He brings increased resistance. He brings AoE block buffs, single target decreased speed. We have Granite here, backup block buffs, mostly here for the decreased defense. He also brings some additional buffs for Taras. And then lastly, like I said, we could go with Androck. Androck does bring weaken, so weaken decreased resistance, and then block buffs as well. So we would have 3 block buffs champions. But Androck could be interesting on this team. And then lastly, we moved Gizmat down to the hard team because he brings increased speed, decreased speed, and he's just going to apply HP burn and activations, which is perfectly fine. So we have a couple damage dealers here. We have Androck, Taras, and then Gizmat for some damage. And then we have some damage boosting here with the Firo. And then we have damage boosting here from Granite. So hopefully that's going to be enough to clear hard difficulty with some pretty good damage numbers. As for what type of gear we're going to use on these teams, I'm going to make some presets for him, and then we'll cover the presets here. And this is probably what you guys should be doing as well. If you guys don't have gear to gear out everybody, just put your best gear on your presets and then swap them out for each team, and then go in, do your auto runs, and then just go on with your day. But this is probably what you should be doing if you don't have a lot of good gear to go around. All right, guys. So I made a bunch of presets here for BMONEY. We'll just go over here real quick. Unfortunately, based on what we had in the gear, a lot of the gear is not rolled up. So the total builds that we can get is actually not very good. He has a lot of relentless gear, which could be rolled up, and those could make some viable builds. But we don't have protection gear. We don't have Pharaoh gear. We don't have a lot of the accessories necessary as well. So we're just really scraping the barrel here. In terms of what we need for the difficulties, Nightmare difficulty, you're looking at about 250 speed plus for your supports. DPS at least 220. Usually recommended about 300 for supports, about 250 for DPS. For accuracy, you're looking at about 300, 350 for Nightmare difficulty. We do have decreased resistance. We do have increased accuracy on a couple of these teams here, so it's going to make some of those stat requirements a little bit easier. But I generally try to build all the presets with enough stats to kind of tackle the hardest difficulty, so you can just interchange easily. So we'll just go over this real quick. We got the Hydra Hex. So he has one usable Hex set in his entire account. It's not rolled up yet, but he's going to need to use the Hex set on pretty much every one of these teams. And yeah, it's just a big power boost once you get the set going. We have defense-based damage dealer. So this is the best defense-based damage dealing set on his account. It's a Savage set. We do have a bunch of attack Slayer gear on his account, or Slayer gear in general. So he can actually make some pretty good Slayer gear sets on his account. We put the best one here so that he can interchange between his Aetherions, between Nightmare and Brutal, which is very, very easy. We have a fast Relentless set here. Basically a fast support build. It could be a fast protection set, fast feral set, and you can have accuracy or no accuracy. In this case, we don't have accuracy. It's just straight up fast. So just make sure you put this on a champion without the need for accuracy. So for example, a good candidate for this would be like Podrig, or for example, Raka could be okay as well. They don't need accuracy. They just need to be fast. And then the other one here is that we have the fastest gear set on his account with accuracy. Now the fastest gear set in total on his account is about 320 speed. So you can kind of see here, his account really, really lacks gear. He has great champions, great roster, but his gear is just not there, guys. Level 81. So he's got a long way to go. He's already doing 1 key Hydra. So that kind of goes to show you how much the strength of champions go in this game. But if you want to look to push his account further, you're going to need some better gear, right? So I got a fast accuracy set here. You're going to put that on any kind of debuffer that needs to go fast. For example, Klazeg could work. Firo could work. Sulfurion could work, etc., right? And then we have a Hydra Provoke set. This set, he only has one usable Provoke set on his entire account. It's not the best, but we have it here. He's going to need to put Provoke on at least his Nightmare team and his Hard team. So he's going to put this set somewhere there. Maybe he gets away with not putting it on his Nightmare team because he has all sorts of crazy stuff on that account. So he could probably make it work without Provoke, but Provoke on the bottom Hard team probably makes sense. And then lastly, we have his best attack-based damage set. And this applies to his entire account. So his entire account, his best set was this damage set. He doesn't have, proper ignore defense gear pieces for Savage or Lethal or anything like that. So it's just straight stats with the Cruel set. Now you could definitely add more like HP based damage set, for example. You could add more fast accuracy sets. Those are generally just very good presets to add. But this is a good start. This is a good start for him. At least going to give him something to work with all of these teams. And these are just staple presets that everybody should have. All right, let's take a quick look at BMONEY's Chimera team here. So this is what he's been running previously. So we have the Reviver, increased speed block damage, decreased defense with the Hilvi, damage from Otherion, basically everything with Keyhulk, another decreased defense champion, and a cleanse here from Galoot, and then we have the cleanse ally attack with Podrick. I think this team could definitely be improved, but just looking over his roster, he doesn't have any clear damage dealers for Chimera. So even somebody like Newt, he doesn't really have. He doesn't have Ninja. He has Geomancer, which I saw, and then he has Otherion basically for damage. So it's a little bit tough. I'm going to take a quick look at what we can put together here and try to improve upon this team. So far, him and his clan are hitting brutal difficulty. Brutal difficulty, I mean, what are you looking at for brutal damage here? Probably not that crazy, I think. 36 million. Definitely doable. In terms of overall stats for brutal difficulty, you need about 300 accuracy. If you're going for resistance, about 400 resistance. He has a lot of champions with decreased resistance, decreased accuracy, and then increased accuracy, increased resistance. So you can definitely reduce some of those stats. But I'll take a shot here at making a better team for him, and then we'll see what we guys think. All right, so here we go. We got Arbaze is coming in here. She's got the big speed aura as well. She's really good. Her A1 has a block active, which is going to help you against the Viper. It does bring increased attack, increased accuracy, which is not super important for this comp. She does bring revive on death. But yeah, she's just generally a very, very solid champion. But the block active is very important so that you can have, somewhat of a reliable auto run. We have Otherion back for more damage, Slayer gear, of course. And then we got the Keyhulk here is going to bring the decreased defense, weaken, and then decreased accuracy and decreased resistance. Now, this is going to be really good as he goes higher up in difficulty. When his stats can't reach that difficulty, the decreased resistance is going to help him help his accuracy stat, and the decreased accuracy is going to help some of his champions not get totally obliterated and stripped and all that stuff. So that's going to be really, really helpful. And of course, he brings like other crazy stuff too: counterattack, unkillable, and taunt as well. Firo is going to be in here. Firo is very good, almost invaluable sometimes for Chimera. He brings plus resistance, perfect veil, so you're going to handle some of the trials this way. He also brings block buffs, very important, and then decreased speed. Single target is perfect for bosses, and then he brings you additional damage with his passive, so he's invaluable almost. Podrick's here. It's going to bring a cleanse, turn meter fail, increase speed. Very important. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, which is very nice. It's a little bit better than Hilvi, to be honest. And then he brings the ally attack, which is going to make the decreased speed more reliable. It's going to make the block actives more reliable, and it's going to make Keyhulk's A1 Fear more reliable. So I think this is generally a stronger team than the one that he was using. Hilvi, of course, brings a revive block damage, but if your team is actually just functioning well, you don't really need all that stuff. And also Keyhulk brings the unkillable stuff, which is just shenanigans. So you don't necessarily need a reviver for the Chimera. I think this team's going to be fine. You're probably worried about damage output, but we're doing our best here with what we have. Ally attacks, we have the passive bonuses here from Firo, counterattacks as well. You're going to need to lock out the second part of the mythical here for Arbaze because you want the A1 block actives. This team's also put together with consideration for some trials, so he could definitely be able to handle some trials as well. Not the best at trials, but if he's just looking for a general team, like full auto, this team's probably pretty good for that. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video here on BMONEY's account. We just did a Hydra and Chimera kind of takeover kind of review just to help him out, set him up for a bit more success. He's doing great. I mean, his account is very stacked in terms of champions, but he definitely needs to work on some of his gear. Some, general pointers. Obviously you got to roll up some gear. You got to do some gear cleansing. You only got 12 million silver. We do got Personal Reward CVC coming up. So he has an opportunity to do some of that. You definitely need to stay on top of your classic arena. I saw basically no Magi Steel here, so you need to stay on top of that just to build that all up, and you have no Great Hall progress. So yeah, definitely need to do that, man. Otherwise, nice champs on your account, but you definitely need to work on the gear, work on the account a little bit. Hopefully I set you up for success with some of those team setups. Best of luck moving forward, man. Anyways, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you guys are interested in this kind of service, let me know in the comments below. You guys can reach me in the Discord, DM me. I do one free takeover a month, or I try to, and there's an application channel on my Discord. You guys can reach out there, or you guys can DM me privately for immediate service. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.